What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is a new week, and we're going to be recapping all of the exciting news in WWE over the past week, May 27th through June 2nd, because it is, of course, now June. Another month has gone by. How's it going, fellas?
Going great.
Yeah, going good. How about you guys?
I tried to, I was supposed to mow today. I've been trying to mow for like 2 days, and it literally won't quit raining. So
I'm doing mine tomorrow. I know how you feel.
So I had literally all the time because I'm sitting around trying to get that done, and like, nope, not so much. So back at it, and we'll at least get to sit down and relax tonight and watch Raw here in a few hours. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm pretty excited to watch after last week. I mean, it's been it's like we were kind of on a high for a while, like when the Rock stuff was going on with like Rock and Roman and all that. And then after that, it kind of seemed like it had like a little bit of a lull. I mean, for me at least. And then like the past few weeks, it seems like it's picking back up again. So
yeah, we normally see a dip right after WrestleMania. So I expected it. And with the news that Roman was going to be out, the Rock was going back to Hollywood for a bit,
This time of year is just like baseball when they have the dog days of August. Like this is the dog days of wrestling for the summer, pretty much from now up until Money in the Bank, leading up till SummerSlam. It's the international shows. A lot of people take time off. We'll be right back in the swing of things in no time.
We're starting to see the uptick with some storylines starting to take shape. And I noticed one on Raw that I don't know if you guys caught, or was it Raw or SmackDown? Now I'm losing my mind. The Morgan or the Waller and
that
tag team split. Because when he was talking to the commentators and he said, "I made Austin Theory relevant again," and you could see Austin Theory like on the bottom rope in the ring, like you could see the look on his face, like, what did he just say? So new storylines are starting to happen that I didn't see coming this fast.
I think the one I'm the most excited about, it's such a small thing, but it's so like soap opera-y. From last week's Raw, the show ended with Dom and Liv Morgan sharing a kiss, and I saw the headline for today, and that's like the lead headline on WWE.com, like aftermath from the Dom and Liv Morgan kiss, the fallout.
That they didn't even show on TV.
Yeah, thanks, USA.
Yeah, so all those people that don't know that happened or don't pay attention, like the casual fan that didn't see on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, they're like, when did they kiss?
What happened? What
did I miss? I thought I watched till the end.
One thing that really got me about that too is Becky had the chance to go out that door way before Braun came out when it was out when Dom opened it. She just waited so they could get the shot, which I didn't really like. She could have easily walked out then. She said, "I'm not doing it that way," and then she changes her mind to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. So to run down the show, that was the match that closed with Liv defeating Becky in a steel cage match to retain her title. Other than that night we saw Braun Strowman going over JD McDonough, Ricochet and Dragunov in a no contest, AOP over the Creed brothers, much sadness, Lyra going over Kairi Sane, Rey Mysterio going over Carlito, Bronson Reed defeating Otis. There's a lot of matches for a Raw now that I'm looking back over this.
Yeah.
Because SmackDown had 4.
Yep.
Yeah, I know it's a 2-hour show, but still.
Yeah, they had almost as many in just that last hour as SmackDown did in 2 hours.
So the Braun Strowman match went over about as I imagined it would.
Yep.
They played it out a lot longer than I thought they would, too. I thought that would be a Braun Breaker sort of deal.
One thing that was interesting, I looked this up before this match happened, and then they actually said it on TV. The last time Carlito and Rey Mysterio faced each other was in 2004.
Wow.
What? Wow.
Yeah. In a singles match.
I figured they would have faced each other on the Indies at some point.
No, on Cage Match, that was the last time it had them recorded as facing off, period.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I felt old for a minute there. I was like, it's Monday night. I'm watching Carlito and Rey Mysterio fighting each other. Like, I feel like I'm in my 20s again.
2004. Mike, you were in kindergarten, right?
I would have been 6 years old, so right around there.
Damn. I was joking, but shit.
I would have been just about to turn 21. So I was drinking and you were finger painting.
Yep. Pretty much.
It was a long time.
All right, I quit.
Man, I feel old. Yep. It does that. Like my wife is like almost 10 years younger than me. Sometimes it'll come up because she's like 30 something, and sometimes it'll come up. We'll be talking about something that happened in like the 90s or something, and I'll be talking about like how I see like Goonies in the movie theater or something like that, and she's like, I was in preschool, so I'm like, oh Jesus.
The same thing happened to me with my friends because one of the first movies I ever saw in the theater was the original Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And now the sequel's coming out like 40 years later, and I'm like, shit.
I know. I'm excited about it. Ever since I heard Kevin Smith was doing it way back when. I know he's not doing this one, but I hope this one doesn't suck. I like the chick from Wednesday, so I'm pretty excited. I think it'll be pretty good.
The preview looked good.
I think it'll be as long as they don't screw it up. But I mean, everyone involved, I think it's going to be a good one. So a couple things that happened outside of the matches. In the Gunther segment, they opened the show with another mention of the rematch clause. Pat McAfee mentioned that Drew was going to be using the rematch clause. So another reference for the long gone rematch clause, which I think should be a thing. So I'm glad that they're working that back into the shows. I think that helps.
Yeah. I actually like that angle. I don't think they're going to use it for every single title opportunity or title loss, but I think it's going to come into play in a couple instances.
One thing with that too is I don't know if you guys saw, but after SmackDown there was a dark match between Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso, and after it, Drew went on the mic saying, "I'm gonna take that world championship, and once I do, I'll be a nice enough guy to give you a shot, and then I'll embarrass you more than you were embarrassed in UFC," which I thought would have been nice for them to put on TV.
Yeah,
good.
I was going to say that because it was like, okay, so they're already starting that, laying the groundwork for that match at SummerSlam.
But the thing is, we got to remember though, is Gunther has a title shot, so there's two angles they could play on. It could be a triple threat, or we could have Punk cost Drew the belt at Clash of the Castle, so it could be them there. For all we know, Drew could be champion. Someone could cash in money on in the bank on him right before then. There's a million different ways they can go with this, and I like that they've left us in limbo, so we can't really figure it out.
Yeah.
Yep, a bit of a mystery that we could see with this one. Another thing that I saw when they were running that Braun Breaker recap earlier tonight, we talked about this in previous episodes about Braun Breaker potentially being a speed option, and they mentioned Ricochet challenging Braun there, and then I feel like that's building to something, and Braun potentially be a speed champion at some point. I think that would be really cool.
I'm just wondering why they would start it on Raw when it's going to be a speed match, unless they're going to do it on air too.
Yep. Yeah, because that seems like that could be a better match than just a 3-minute match in general.
Oh yeah, I think them together is going to be pretty good. You got the high flyer, against that, fast but brutally strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm really excited to see what happens with that. I don't know, man. The Speed Championship to me is still, it's such a mystery why it's not a belt that's on TV. Like, I don't know. It's
just because Elon wanted it that way, I think. But I hope they change it. I hope he realizes that people will be more in tune to watch it if they see that championship more than just the advertising. Because I know it's in the contract that they can't have it. It's exclusive belt X, and they can't have it off of that. But I just think it would help grow it a lot more if they could put it on him and he could support it.
Like I said before, even people in the arena, they see the belt and somebody's like, "Oh my God, what's that title? Why does he have a title? I didn't know he had one." And somebody's sitting around him or whatever is like, "Oh, that's the speed belt. It's on Twitter." They were like, "Oh shit, now I'm going to go and watch it." And they didn't even see those advertisements on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people now watch stuff and like fast forward through commercials. So
one of my I think out of the whole show though, the Liv and Dom kiss, was kind of crazy. But I think my favorite segment was that in-ring segment with Chad Gable as the angry stepdad.
Yep.
So many memories watching that one from childhood. When he said that it's gonna hurt you worse than it hurts me, I'm like, and I'm 10 years old again.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Maxine and all of this though, because she's like helping Otis. Is she gonna be Otis's new love interest like Liv Morgan was?
Yeah.
Maxine's the first one to really step up to Chad like that too. So I wonder if they'll play the angle that Maxine costs Chad a title, like it's the opportunity at the title, say him and Sammy have another match as opposed to Otis doing it.
Or maybe Maxine and Ivy. I mean, they're kind of buddies now. They could just give them a go as a tag team. I mean, she's got options. They could spin off from there.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility.
But if he's bringing the Creed brothers into it, that's going to be a really tough angle unless you want Ivy to break off.
Yeah.
Unless you have Maxine protect Chad while Otis goes for it and you break it up that way too.
Yeah. I mean, the main Chad's title ends on, or his contract ends on Friday. So I'm surely they're going to renew it. Like, I don't see them dropping him. I mean, we've been surprised before with releases, but I don't see them letting him go. He's too hot right now.
The only thing outside of them re-signing him is probably tonight, since his contract's done at the end of the week, just having Otis and whatnot attack him, injure him, and play him off TV that way to give them time to renegotiate his contract if they're not close.
Yeah.
I think this is another Drew McIntyre situation because they just built such a heavy storyline, even though he didn't have the new deal done yet, and they got it done before time's up. I think they could do that with this, or if he was going to take some time off, absolutely played the angle that you said, Jason, on it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely curious, but I mean, I don't see him. I see him as one of those ones who would get lost in the shuffle if he went to AEW. I mean, now I could see him doing well in TNA though, which again, as we talked about in our special a few days ago, potentially a place for underused talent to go with this new collaboration with WWE. So an option.
He goes to TNA and they bring back Perk Angle.
We've seen the Perk Gable signs in the crowd already. So.
Oh yeah, already. I was dying when I saw that.
I've been watching the WWE shop waiting for a Perk Gable shirt to pop up.
I don't think they would ever do that.
Yeah. Get a bootleg one of those.
All right, I'm designing them now. They're going to be on WrestleTees.com tomorrow. WrestlingTees.com/Perk Angle.
I bet there's already one on Cafe Press. Somebody's probably already done it.
He also posted on Instagram, I believe it was a week or so ago, the Perk brand. They do nutrition that he posted a picture of it saying that he loves this stuff and he goes down to visit the store every time he's in Atlanta. So he might already be knowing that he's going down that route.
Mm-hmm.
That is the greatest shirt ever. Gold medalist Perk Angle zooted off a bean.
I own a lot of like just offbeat wrestling shirts, like non-licensed ones, because a lot of times those non-licensed ones are better than like anything else. Like they're more creative most times. WWE kind of tends to play it safe with WWE. It's funny you say that. Literally just got another email from them. They kind of play it safe with their designs, so it's interesting when you can see that the fans are making better ones. A few days ago I haven't bought an AEW shirt in a while, but I saw a Jeff Jarrett. They have a Slapnuts Club shirt now, going back with the Bullet Club styling, going back to when he was Slapnuts in WCW, and I had to grab one of those.
They got one with his mug shot on it, and then Perk Angle under it.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's freaking. I'm sorry, that's great.
So what about Damage Control? They seem to be having some friction backstage Monday. I think they kind of don't really have much direction right now, is what I'm really saying.
I was really surprised that they put Lyra over Io going back a few weeks ago to the tournament, and just the only thing that in my mind that we've seen in recent history that I could sort of play this to is sort of like when Noam Dar lost the Heritage Cup and he was sort of distraught for a week or two, but then snapped right back into it. Yeah. Maybe it'll be something like that where she's not showing that anger and frustration for a long period of time.
I could see it.
I'm getting over the whole we're gonna make someone lose from a stable or whatever. We're gonna make one of them lose, and the other ones are gonna get mad at them for losing, and then it's gonna cause them to break up. I'm over that angle.
The other thing is they could be doing this away too, where because Asuka's out right now, where she comes back and joins one half if they do split up, the person that splits off or something like that.
She joins Bailey.
Yeah,
Damage Control Hollywood and Damage Control Black and White, or Damage Control
Wolfpack. We're already going to see that with the bloodline.
Oh, I'm waiting for it. I'm just glad they're finally getting some TV play. Finally, thank God. So, anything else from Raw you guys had? Any other interesting highlights from the night?
One thing I thought I liked that ice cream truck segment.
Yes, that was freaking the greatest thing I've seen in a long time.
Vanilla and strawberry.
I love it. And then the New Day. What were you going to say? I was going to say strawberry. And then at the end, they're like.
They also had, I believe it was Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville sitting in the background talking too. I know she came on later into another promo saying, "Oh, you guys aren't going to win the tag championships without me." But it's sort of interesting how much they're having her play in with that too.
Yeah, Sonya showed up, and then the red-headed witches, or what are they being called now? The Unholy Union or something.
Yep.
They showed up. Cool seeing them get some TV time though. I mean, it's only back to minor shows for now, but good to see them on some main brand shows finally.
Yep.
I'm glad to see, it's sad to see Becky possibly leave or just taking extended time off.
Yeah.
But it gives them the chance to bring those low to mid card women up to see how they, react to live crowds, how the crowd reacts to them on TV.
And there have been the rumors. I've noticed they've been kind of amping up the past few days. I've been seeing them on Twitter about the women's mid card titles potentially being like a soon thing. So
yeah, the women's intercontinental.
Yeah,
that's what I saw.
It's about time. I mean, there's so many, and it would be nice to have something else for everyone else to fight over.
I can't see Becky leaving though. It's just I think she's going to go field an offer from Tony Khan and say, "Hey, give me X amount more," and the WWE's just going to throw it at her, and she'll sign. It's just take some time off because when was the last time her and Seth both were off at the same time to have time with their family? It's been a little bit.
And I think they're kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. Like they know if Becky goes, Seth will want to go, so they're not going to want to lose either one. So I think they'll step up to the plate for either one of them at this point.
With that though, after what Seth has said about AEW in the past,
I
don't know if Tony would even field that freaking phone call.
He's been pretty forward.
Yeah, a lot of the fans have been dead set against her. They talked a lot of trash about her over the years.
Yep.
They're
set with Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, Sasha Banks.
CEO of Bad Wrestling. Sorry.
Well, do you see that one? It either came out yesterday or today, and apparently the Monday Night Messiah gimmick they gave Seth was originally intended for Elias.
I saw that. Yep.
I think Elias was against it because we can see it now. He's a pastor now or a preacher or whatever.
Yeah.
I saw him on Twitch. He was like reading out of the Bible and he was preaching. I was like, okay, switch the channel.
Yeah. Elias, former WWE superstar Elias, promotes the gospel of Christianity following his release from the company. I have not seen that.
Yep.
Okay. I have to check out this rabbit hole. This is interesting.
Oh yeah, he went deep diving into that one.
Oh goodness. So let's see. We had NXT next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches in a 2-hour show, and they had backstage segments. Like Sean runs a tight ship. I mean, that's pretty impressive. First match of the night, though, right off the bat, I was disappointed.
Nope.
Tatum lost to Michin in the women's qualifier. Ridge Holland defeated Riley Osborne, an interesting match. The OC went over Malik and Idris. Lola Vice defeated Ariana Grace. Dante Chen basically probably buried Lexis King. Another NA qualifier, Kalani Jordan over Ren Sinclair, and then the night ended with Trick Williams and Javon Evans going over Gallus. But more importantly than all that, we saw the NXT debut of Sexy Red. That was an interesting night.
Well, she'll be the host of Battleground, so we're getting more of her. It ain't over yet.
That is that an ice cream tattoo on her face?
I don't know. Might be.
I wanted to I don't know. I just don't like her.
Let's see.
I was hoping when she came out, they would hope they would say, "Oh, from Pound Town, Sexy Red."
From Pound Town.
Oh my gosh.
That's where she could be billed from.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that would have been even better. Why didn't they do that?
And I assume you guys have seen the limo video too of her and Shawn Michaels after too. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm just happy as shit that Shawn didn't, twerk.
Yeah, you've seen that before.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I was just not happy with that. I don't know. Wasn't a fan.
Oh my gosh.
I'm curious to see where it goes. I think they can do it the right way, but time will tell on it.
She is a diehard wrestling fan though, so I would like if she can do good work like on the mic and stuff and get involved a little bit, I'd be into it. Kind of like I wasn't all for Logan Paul at the beginning, but now I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Him and LA Knight are having some fun back and forths on Twitter. I like their feud that's building.
It'll be LA Knight versus LA Knight for the
LA Knight looking in the mirror.
Get your name.
Or Carmelo. Oh my god.
I do feel bad for him though, because afterwards, all that backlash on Twitter and Instagram, people telling him to go back to NXT. He's botching too much. Cool. I was like, dude, he's still new to the main roster. He's learning. Give him a chance. Not every wrestler's perfect. Undertaker's made botches on the mic in the ring before. Yep. So yeah, they're all they're not perfect. It's live TV.
I thought he played it off phenomenal too, because if you didn't catch it, you wouldn't have known. If people didn't have if we didn't have modern day technology to post it all over social media, most people wouldn't have even known. He played it off better, and I think it even worked out better too, because it just it can show him a young dumb kid with confidence. They can even play an angle off of it.
Yep. And the way LA played into it and it was telling him, it's like me looking in the mirror. I was like, that's the way he played it was perfect.
Mm-hmm. I read today, I don't remember where it was. I think it was on Facebook, but I read somewhere that there's a lot more plan for Sexy Red to be involved in NXT. So we'll apparently be seeing a lot more of her moving forward. So it'll be interesting to see how they work that in there. I mean, she'd be a cool valet for Trick or something. I mean, I think that'd be cool.
Maybe her and Lash Legend can have a match if they're fighting over Trick too, because we had that going on, and now she comes out to the ring with him and Javon. I don't know. Him and Lash seemed pretty tight before that.
I mean, and it wouldn't be hard to teach her a few basic moves. I mean, make her look strong in a match or something.
Yeah,
I could see it.
She could definitely take a few Rikishi moves without a doubt.
Yeah. Another thing about contracts and somebody that's going to be involved a little bit more than I thought is Jordan Grace, even though it's not much. They said that she signed a 3-appearance deal. So she's not only going to be at Battleground, she's actually scheduled for a TV match at some point.
Well, tonight she has, or not tonight. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow night?
She got one against Stevie Turner, I think.
Okay, so yeah, she's signed a 3-appearance deal. I wonder if they're going to extend it after this.
Because there was that backstage segment with Ava when Stevie Turner was going off, and then Jordan Grace showed up and set up a match between them. That's going to be a good one. I'm pretty stoked about that.
I wonder if they sign a deal with her, 3-deal match to end at Battleground, and then they sign Roxanne to go over to TNA for a couple appearances.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I think Roxanne has tremendous potential. They could strap a rocket on her. I think she's going to be big on the main roster. No doubt.
They could do that as a Slammiversary match.
That could be good.
What do you think about the segment with Josh Briggs. Seemed like he was kind of lost there for a minute, and then Sean Spears is like, I need to guide the youth or something. Like he wants to be like Josh Briggs' mentor. I think that could be a potentially pretty cool story. Like they got to do something with Sean Spears. So I mean, if they can give him some kind of story to keep him relevant, I think that would be great until they put the title on him.
That's what I was just about to say. They need some kind of filler story for him, because after even this, like the Trick Williams stuff is done, that's when I think they're going to push Sean Spears. But until then, he needs something, because they can't put him on the back burner and then expect people to care when they just throw him into that title picture.
Exactly.
That whole promo was just a shot at AEW, though. Josh Briggs saying, "I'm going to bet on myself." That was the whole point of that. But one thing they could do with Sean too is he used to train with Cody. They could play something in with him and AJ Styles coming up too. If they wanted to put him up to the main roster, they could do something with that.
Yeah.
I was honestly surprised Sean Spears debuted in NXT, but I mean, I feel like if he's going to be there, they need to use him. Like he's one of the like the cornerstones, in my opinion, of like original, like older NXT when it was like really good. I feel like he could definitely be one of those guys now that's one of like the pillars of current NXT, because there's not a lot of guys in the roster that I feel are like top guys in NXT, but he's definitely one of like 4 or 5 that are that guy.
Yeah, because even some of the top guys right now in NXT, if they were go to the main roster, they'd be mid card guys. Easy. You don't see many of them as top tier guys on the main roster. Sean Spears being on top of NXT, he could transition to, at least a top mid card guy on the main roster.
One thing that I think they have him down in NXT for is I think they're using him more as a trainer / coach type of guy than an on-TV wrestler. They still give him some on-TV time to keep him happy and keep him relevant, but I think they're using him more behind the scenes on a daily basis.
Yeah. What else happened that night? Still more stuff with the family and the No Quarter Catch crew. Don't really know what's going on there. I'm good with any story with the family. Like, I just like them a lot. But the Catch crew, I don't really know what their thing is or what they're going to be. They seem kind of aimless.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw some people saying online, why did the No Quarter Catch drop the Heritage Cup so quick? It was really tough to go with an angle with them. Like they're even having Charlie Dempsey sort of try to be the head of the No Quarter Catch crew, like act like Tony D. And then the one thing that I'm curious to see tomorrow night too is he told Luca Crucifino to go over the catch clause. So I wonder if we're going to see Luca or Stax defend it also against the is it Damon that's gonna? I think it, because it's not Charlie Dempsey. Yeah, Damon Kemp will be going against.
Okay. And then of course, I think probably the main most important stuff that happened in the night we talked about a few days ago, of course, but just for those who missed that episode, of course, Roxanne Perez next opponent is going to be TNA's Jordynne Grace, continuing to open up the disallowed entrance between WWE and the I'm going to copyright that phrase eventually, between the WWE and the TNA. We talked about too crazy off the handle with it, but again, something that's very exciting, a lot of promise there.
Yeah. I like that they're opening that, partnership more now. I was expecting it sooner after they announced it in January, but I'm glad they're starting to roll with it.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys saw this too, but Swerve said there would never be a time more likely than right now for AEW and WWE to do a crossover too. So I'm curious if Tony and Paul are talking at all. I don't know how much stock I put into it, but I did see it someplace. So I'm curious to see if he's hitting on something or not.
I would say between Tony Khan and Vince McMahon, a 0% chance. Between Tony Khan and Triple H, maybe a 20-25% chance.
Yeah.
I just want to see the Khans Nick and Tony
in
a room together to see how that plays out. Because when Tony Khan came out a couple years ago before the first Forbidden Door and was like, I think you think you were talking to New Japan. He's like, I've been talking to him more. They've been talking to the wrong Khan.
Yeah.
So
I think everyone will benefit from if they work together in the long run.
Yeah.
Just the storylines are going to sell themselves.
Even if it's just a one-off pay-per-view and not a yearly thing, how much money that would make. You would have the thousands and thousands of WWE fans and the dozens of AEW fans in the same arena.
Yeah. There are dozens of us.
Dozens and dozens.
I know.
I'm gonna get ripped for that by AEW fans.
I think a very small chance, but I mean, we could do a whole thing on this dream match between WWE and AEW, and not just old WWE talents who were over in AEW, but AEW New Japan talents who have never really crossed over with WWE. Dream matches like a Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega match.
There'd be a lot of good matches. Not even Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega, Seth Rollins and Jay White.
That would be
I'd be all over that. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna make a note. That's gonna be one of our next ones. That's actually a really good idea. So we'll copy that one over. And then ending the week with SmackDown and the matches. A very surprising one. I mean, Ciampa going over Austin Theory, Andrade going over Apollo Crews, the Bloodline or Guerrillas of Destiny going over the Street Profits, and then Chelsea and Piper going over Bayley and Naomi. I totally glossed over this. We had a debut at the end of NXT. Very exciting. And not one that I expected. I mean, it was, of all the debuts that I would have been anticipating sometime soon. A lot of times you hear about, someone's contract going up, and you'll kind of wait and you'll be like, okay, well, this person will pop up in a month or something like that. But Ethan Page showed up on NXT a lot quicker than I expected him to cross over. I mean, again, we talked about this before, but perhaps because of the no compete thing, but sooner than I expected.
Yeah, sooner than I expected too. I was expecting to see him in the Indies a little bit, trying to rework, his get off that AEW rust, because they didn't use him that good, in my opinion. But I was completely floored. Like, I watched the last match, but I turned it off pretty quick. Didn't even watch the end of the Trick Williams segment at the end, and I was like, all right. And then he came out, and everyone was like, my friend called me. He's like, you didn't see who debuted tonight? I'm like, yeah, Jordan Grace. They're like, no, that's not it. I was like, holy crap, really?
Yeah. So, no, it was very surprising. And we talked about this in the special episode we did, but for those who missed that one, to me, it seemed like it was just kind of like they pigeonholed him into that Noam Dar story. Like they didn't really know where they were going with it and just wrote him into it just to give him a gimmick as he was coming into the show. That's at least what I felt like, because he didn't really need that. I mean, I'm sure they'll build a story off of it and something will come out of it, but I don't know. I just felt kind of like he didn't need that. I feel like they could have done it another way.
One thing that I really like that they did with this, and they did with Tongaloa too, is we haven't really even known these people have been signed before they show up, and they just show up.
I know,
that's awesome, because like I love looking online to see the news and stuff, but I don't want to get spoiled like that. So keep keeping it under the radar. I like it.
Like even Jordan Grace posted after she came, because I didn't expect that. I don't think a lot of people did.
No.
And she posted on Twitter afterwards a picture of her in like the back, but she was like, I was in the isolation chamber. Like some of the superstars didn't even know she was there.
Because you think of the pay-per-view we were all sitting around watching and waiting for Jacob Fatu to show up. And that was what everybody, it was rumored. Everybody knew about the signing. Like that was for sure what was going to happen. And then Tongaloa. So I like that there's surprises now. It's hard to do in the era of social media, but it's nice that it happens.
Yeah.
One thing I've heard rumored is Roman's going to bring Jacob in with him when he comes back. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard a couple people say that.
That's what I heard, because there were rumors that backstage they didn't, and creative and stuff, think that Jacob Fatu would outshine Solo on the mic and all that, because Jacob Fatu's phenomenal.
He's way better. Yeah, he's infinitely more interesting.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He doesn't sound like he's reading from a script.
And Solo is like the Wish version of Roman, like just
Yep.
dull as a box of rocks. And that's the guy they put in control of the family. So
Timu Roman Reigns.
I was just about to say, look, Mom, I bought Roman Reigns on Timu.
It's my best place to get people gifts. I love it. Nice and cheap.
I'm not knocking it. We do orders from there like regularly. I love spending $30 on there and getting a freight container delivered to my front porch.
Hell yeah, an envelope that's wrapped in 30 freaking yards of tape.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. You guys go ahead. It'll come back to me in a second.
So yeah, we had the debut. Okay, back over to SmackDown. I can't. Yeah, that was. You can tell it's been a busy week when there's so much stuff going on. Like the stories are just all over the place. SmackDown was pretty decent. I mean, pretty standard night. I mean, the matches weren't too bad. I mean, I feel like they could fit more in because, like we were just talking about with NXT, there was all those matches. But take a guess how many backstage segments there were, if you had to guess.
7.
I would have said 6.
13.
13. Wow.
Shit.
So I guess it's just because Sean runs a tighter ship, but I mean, SmackDown just seems like it's kind of, I don't know. It's not the house that AJ Styles built anymore, which we'll touch on that storyline here in a moment as well. But yeah, NXT just very well run. They need to give Sean the main roster. Just send him up. Let him do it.
Raw and NXT have turned to professional wrestling. SmackDown is still sports entertainment.
Maybe it's because it's on Fox and they have to do it like a certain way. Perhaps could be kind of what they're geared towards a certain audience. You know, that would make sense.
More storytelling.
Yep.
So on SmackDown, I mean, other than the matches, I mean, the big thing that stood out, we had the Nia Jax celebration, but also, I mean, the main thing that I would say was the big take home from SmackDown was AJ's fake retirement and the fact that his story is continuing. So what do we? I mean, obviously the feud with Cody has to continue. I mean, there's heat there. Everybody wants it. But there's a lot of storylines going for where Cody could be right now. I mean, it's going to be busy for him.
With them saying, I don't know how they're going to do it, though, because when he was told that he had to get to the back of the line, and even though he attacked Cody, are they going to reward him for that with a title match? Or is Nick Aldis going to come back out and, say, I told you to get to the back of the line. Now you have to go through a series of matches to be able to get back to the Cody before SummerSlam or before Money in the Bank.
Or they could just say something like, you want your title shot, you'll have to earn it like anybody else. You're the first entrant declared in Money in the Bank from the SmackDown side or something like that.
Yeah.
One thing I've seen, too, is Cody had to get helped off by referees after, too. So they could be playing an injury angle on it, too, where Drew will be the main event then, and they push it to Money in the Bank, or like they wouldn't go SummerSlam, obviously, because of the King of the Ring. But they might have to push it back because of that. And then the other thing is, too, is remember when Roman broke up the triple threat match, they made it a fatal 4-way. So I don't see Nick Aldis rewarding him off of that.
I hope they don't do an injury angle with Cody. We have too many people that are out with injuries right now. That would just be that would upset fans. Even if they play that angle, who got tickets to Clash at the Castle because they want to see Cody?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that did. I mean, even that one fan that Cody has bought tickets for to go to Clash of the Castle to be his guest. I think that would not be the greatest if they go that route.
We could even do something like that happened at Elimination Chamber, though, where they put him on the wall or effect. They could still have him there, or maybe even wrestle in a dark match, because I think the only reason they would play an injury angle is to give Drew the main event over in his hometown.
True.
On the subject of Cody, he did top merchandise sales again for the month of May 2024, followed by CM Punk, then Jey Uso, then Roman Reigns, and then Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold lives forever with that.
Yep.
I mean, they made the right decision putting Cody on top. I mean, great with the fans, moves merch, brings people into the shows. I mean, he's a good guy to be the face of your company. I think they did the right thing.
He's good with the kids like Cena was. He brings those kids, mommy, daddy, I want to go see Cody. That you know, it's good for them.
I saw a video on Instagram earlier with that. He had a little kid that he brought down like ringside and like let the kid do the whoa and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
So freaking adorable.
One thing, though, they might like him more as a chaser, too, than a champion. So they might have him. I could see them having him drop the belt for, say, 4 months and win it back at WrestleMania again to create another big moment where he wins it back. Because they might like him more than a chaser than a champion.
Yeah. The story continued, and then it ended, and now we're on to book 2. It's going to be like the Harry Potter books. There's going to be like 80 billion Cody Rhodes stories.
Just like they did Brock and Roman, Brock and a lot of people, you know.
Oh, yeah, they hot potatoed that title all day.
Have Cody lose the title to Roman. Roman's going to be face when he comes back.
Yeah.
Have Cody flip the script and go heel with Arn Anderson as his manager, and that leads into WrestleMania next year. Cody versus Roman 3, but roles are reversed.
Which there has been a lot of buzz about. I've been seeing a lot about Arn Anderson coming in and being Cody's manager. I mean, Cody's good on his own. Like, I don't feel like he needs a mouthpiece, but, they'll have to write that into the story somehow. I'm not sure. Unless they do full Nightmare Family and, like, Brandy's on screen too, stuff like that. Like, I don't know.
But they kind of did that in AEW, though. They had Arn as his manager, and Cody still cut his own promos and stuff. Yeah. Except the gun promo where Arn Anderson threatened to shoot him.
I saw on Twitter somebody was like, "Is Arn bringing the Glock?"
Yeah, is he bringing the Glock?
One interesting thing that they could do to WrestleMania, too, to throw a huge wrench in it, they could have Randy turn heel and The Rock said he's coming for Cody. With Roman coming back as a face, you could have Roman and Cody team up against The Rock and Randy Orton for a night 1 main event.
That'd be fire.
Would Rock come back as a face, though?
No, because him and Randy would be heels. Roman and Cody would be the faces. Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah,
I bet that would be interesting. I mean, Orton's got to turn heel at some point because I feel like he's going to get the belt from Cody. Like, I feel like if anyone's the next guy, he's probably the next guy. And then plus you could do a storyline with that as well. Like maybe Orton loses it to Roman and then faces off against Cody because he can be like, he can tell Roman, like, you didn't beat me to take this title. Randy Orton did, or something like that. I mean, I
like Cody holding on to the title till WrestleMania next year. Now that you mention it, Mike, because that would be, everyone wants to see Roman versus The Rock to see who is the official head of the table versus the final boss. And then you have Cody versus Randy.
Yeah.
I
mean, that'd be a good night 2 match, Cody and Randy. That'd easily.
I think we're going to have to wait a long time for Rock versus Roman. They're all about long-term storytelling. I don't think we'll get that till maybe even like 3 years out, maybe.
They're both in tremendous shape. It's not like it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Everyone that comes back lately from a long hiatus is jacked for some reason.
God, AJ Styles was like jacked as heck lately. Randy Orton is like in tremendous shape. Like these
MJF on AEW came back looking like he did a round of steroids before he walked in the ring.
Yeah, like dude was a beast.
Yeah.
One thing is they could be having to take HGH for the injuries that they have too, because a lot of times it'll help you build back that injury and regenerate it. Not that they're using it full time, but that's why. Because Randy Orton does not look the same now that he did at War Games.
Oh no, he doesn't even look the same now as he did friggin' 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh, before we go on to the next thing, I know we spin off into golf discussion frequently. So a side note, have you guys heard that they're making a John Daly TV series?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know who's playing John Daly?
Who?
Kevin James.
Oh, jeez. I should have figured that one.
Oh, man.
The NASCAR Netflix series he came out with didn't work, so why not?
I'm so
throw him into golf.
John Daly is fascinating because I run into him all the time here in Arkansas. Like, he's a pretty well-known like local celeb, so it was not unheard of to be out having a drink on the weekends and to run into John Daly. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Well, his son's a very good golfer. He's going to come up in the rankings. It's just a matter of time.
And then we have Happy Gilmore 2 coming, so good time to see what's out there. And then, of course, NCAA college football. The game soon will be.
I can't wait.
Oh man, it's gonna be. It's a great year. I'm really excited for what this year has to hold. So, we had some good minor shows this week. The Speed semifinals saw Ciampa beating Ludwig Kaiser. He had a win on SmackDown and a win on Speed. So pretty cool. Main event, Pete Dunne went over Dijak for some reason. The Unholy Union went over Katana Chance and Caden Carter. And then Level Up, Uriah Connors defeated what seems to be the new perpetual jobber, Cutler James. Stevie Turner going over Kendall Gray. And No Quarter Catch Crew going over Tyson and Tyreek. Not bad matches this week, honestly. All the minor shows were actually pretty good.
They love
Barry. Like Pete Dunne over Dijak.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was a little odd. I don't know why, because he just got like drafted. So
those contracts coming up too, so they probably use that as a thing to give him the main roster minimum salary for a little bit to try to convince him to resign.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unholy Union getting some love. I mean, good to see them on TV. It's only on the minor shows, but still good to see them doing something. So that's kind of nice. So in the Speed, I was watching that Speed match, and I thought I like Ricochet having it, and I really want Braun Breaker to have it. But I honestly wouldn't mind Ludwig Kaiser getting it. Like, I don't think that'd be a bad call.
Tournament.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
No, not this one. No.
Entrant.
I don't see Ciampa getting it, so
yeah.
I mean, they're probably just going to keep it on Ricochet for a while, I bet.
Yeah, keep Ricochet happy.
I can't believe Tyson and Tyreek keep getting buried like that. They do the promo for him first night on regular NXT, they lose. Now they're having them lose on Level Up to the No Quarter Catch Crew. That's a real confusing.
And it's not a good look for them. Like the promo when they were coming up was really good. Like you could definitely feel like the energy from these guys. They're super talented. Like I really felt like they were going to come up to the roster and be like a force, but they're just getting buried.
Yeah,
because what was it? Was it Carly Bright? I think they cut a promo for this past week on NXT. They're gonna have her lose in her first match, like
probably.
Yeah.
What you doing down there, Sean? Fix it.
But we
got all the matches, just the wrong winners.
Stevie Turner going over Kendall Gray, not too bad. Good seeing Stevie Turner in action, so happy with that at least. But yeah, Cutler James, man. I mean. Yeah, can we go back to that?
Like, that's crazy. Back-to-back weeks to Dante Chin, like, that's sort of disrespectful.
We talked about this on our other show this week, but if y'all missed it, I think, Mike, you mentioned something about him being the first Singaporean star, and maybe that may be why they're doing that, but, like, it's just weird what they're doing with Lexus King. Like, I don't know. It's like he slept with a producer's wife or something, like dude's getting done dirty.
He gave Sean a dirty look backstage. I wonder if they're going to have him just keep losing until he, goes on a rampage in the ring, ripping shit apart, saying, I'm going to reinvent myself. And then he becomes back as Brian Pillman Jr.
Give him a bum-ass Corbin gimmick.
Yeah.
They could, too, because remember he gave Corbin the gift basket before he left.
Long-term storytelling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Corbin shows back up and gives him a can of SpaghettiOs.
He keeps losing. He ends up in that broken Corbin story. And then Corbin comes back to mentor him and bring him back up from the dead.
Yep. I mean,
and then he faces the Undertaker.
Kind of whack already anyway. I feel like he could be reinvented. I mean, it's like, 80s hairband guy. Like, I mean, I don't really get it. Like, I feel like he could be reinvented.
Tiger King.
Yeah.
Tiger King.
Joe Exotic.
Lexus Tiger King.
Yeah.
Kind of like they did with Bearcat Keith Lee.
Oh, don't. I just threw up in my mouth a little.
I just want us to just sit and look at this for a minute. This was a legit name that was on TV for weeks. Bearcat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, Vince, man, we could do a whole episode on Vince's biggest flops. Just oh my gosh, so many. And Keith Lee, man, just endless potential. Like, I was so excited for him to get called up to the main roster because I was like, that's a dude that's going to be a champion in like a month, bare minimum. Nah, nothing. Kind of like how they bundled Bobby Roode, one of my favorite wrestlers. It's a travesty he was not a WWE champion on the main roster. Like, easily should have been.
LA Knight would have still been Max Dupree.
Oh, God.
Oh, are they is Maxine gonna split off and then her and LA Knight are gonna start a modeling agency again?
Yeah, they can hire Pretty Deadly this time.
Oh, yeah. Pretty Deadly's one I'm surprised they're not using more on like main event and stuff like that. Like, you got to do something with them.
Main event's usually Raw guys, though, I've noticed, because of the venue they go to.
And it's Pride Month, and WWE doesn't have a lot of performers or tag teams that are really fabulous. So, I mean, surely Pretty Deadly, we'll see them on TV a little bit more this month.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt that.
Okay. Even put him in a kickoff show for Clash of the Castle for the tag championships against A-Town Down Under. Like,
A Clown Down Under?
I know.
I still do not like them.
No, I mean, no. I didn't mind Austin Theory in NXT when he was part of the Way. Like, I was okay with him back then, but like now on the main roster, I don't know. I feel like he has potential. Like, a lot of people have said like he could be the next Cena, and I see it. Like, he's talented, he's got a good physique. It's just he annoys me. His personality just, and I know heels are supposed to annoy you, but he really annoys me.
We'll see how it goes and how we feel after the split and he goes face, because there was rumors they wanted him to go face a while ago, and he turns, or Wallen turns on him, and
they just trademarked A-Town Down Under last month too. So even though they might not go for the split, but they could be using it for long term too.
Well, I mean, they can do a long-term storytelling, and someone misses a tag or something, and it ticks someone off, or someone accidentally hits someone. Like, that can, I mean, that can run for a while, I think, so that we can see what happens. But I mean, a split would be awesome. Austin Theory as a face would be interesting. I mean, it could work. I could see it maybe if it was done right. So
yeah, if it's done right. I mean, I think I like him in the ring. He's good. He doesn't rub me the wrong way, which is that's his job. So
yeah, that's what he's supposed to do.
I think turning face, I just want to see how that transition goes, because every good wrestler we've had in the past, John Cena, The Rock, they can go either or.
Yeah.
And I think we need to see the face side of him before we can see if he's a long-term top guy.
Or he could be a good, like a tweener. I mean, kind of like Brock. I mean, Brock's a great heel, but there's just sometimes you just can't help but love him. So, I mean,
Viking Brock is the best, and Cowboy Brock.
Cowboy Brock, Boombox Brock,
Farmer Brock,
Farmer Brock.
with the backhoe.
Oh,
that was still one of the greatest moments I think I've ever seen. When he lifted the ring up, I lost it.
I could rewatch that over and over again. I mean, because I think a lot of it was that like they knew we were tired of seeing Brock and Roman face each other, and they were like, we have to do something different. And they were like, all right, go nuts.
But right at the beginning, though, like the beginning of that match when Brock was standing on the backhoe in the bucket and he tossed the mic to Roman, and Roman just like catches it like perfectly. Then he winks at Brock. That moment, I was like, okay, this is going to be good.
Yep.
And they escalated from there and was awesome.
I wonder, though, where they originally planned to do it, because that was the same time that the lawsuit happened with Vince, and that was like Triple H's first PLE that he had control of like that. So I wonder if that was a last minute change that he made, or if they were originally going that way.
I mean, it takes a bit to write stuff, but I mean, I bet they could have planned that in a couple days. I mean, you can rent a tractor locally I can drive down the road and rent one right now and have it here in an hour. I mean, it's probably pretty easy to plan that. I don't think there's probably any extra reinforcing the ring or anything they had to do, I imagine. I mean,
no, they were tearing it apart anyway.
Yeah.
Then you have the mayor of Knoxville to help you with anything you need to.
Oh Jesus, screw that guy.
I've been going to Knoxville probably every other weekend, and every time I'm out there, I'm just like,
going to see Glenn Jacobs, not the same guy you knew in the ring.
I was supposed to go to a tattoo convention out there this weekend, video game tattoo cons out there, and I was supposed to go work. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to Knoxville.
I play a lot of video games, and my wife is covered in tattoos. We could both go and have something we like.
Yeah, VGT cons in Knoxville this weekend.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yep. The friend of mine who owns a couple tattoo shops in Charlotte actually throws it.
I'm down. I'd be like, I'm gonna go play some Call of Duty. Go get another tattoo. Here's $100. Go have fun.
Yeah, they're having all sorts of tournaments, cosplay contests, everything. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh man, okay, I'm in. So this week will probably be I'm pretty excited. Going into the week though, it's interesting. Like for the past probably 2 or 3 weeks, the thing I look forward to most is NXT. Usually when a new week starts, it's like it's Monday, and I'm like, cool, we're gonna barbecue, we're gonna watch Raw or order a pizza or whatever. You know, good start to the week. But it's always like now I'm ready for NXT. I'm ready to see what happens there.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while now too.
Yeah,
ready for more sexy red.
I'm ready for another QR code 3 times this week.
What'd you think about the one on Friday? It was pretty much the same thing. It was just a recap of all the other QR codes for the most part in the Twitch things.
Did you see WWE.com this morning?
Yeah, I saw it after the fact, not during it, but I saw what happened.
I didn't see it during. I saw it after too.
Have you heard the rumors about like Alexa Bliss being like the anti-Howdy?
No.
I read that today. Someone posted that, and they're saying that she's going to come back and be like an anti-Howdy, and she's going to represent like Bray Wyatt and what he was fighting for or something like that, and she's going to stand up against them and be like, potentially with Braun Strowman on her side and be like, this isn't who he was, or you're not him, or something like that.
Her and Braun have a history too.
Yeah, little big. Yeah, or big little or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. The intergender tag team matches.
Yeah. So that could be a way to breathe some life into it, because if they don't crap or get off the pot, I mean, we've been saying this for weeks, but like, come on.
Yeah. It's just getting to the point where even people on Reddit today in the last couple of days are like, they need to do something, or because people are already losing interest. There's people that were saying that, you know, how at the beginning they were all into it, but now they could care less already.
Yeah.
And people may not remember this because people like to look at wrestling a lot through rose-colored glasses, but nowadays people will be like, oh man, remember when Sting came back to WCW and was in the rafters? Remember how cool that was? I remember sitting there for like a year of Sting in the rafters, like, come on, do something.
Yep. It was, but even with that, the Sting angle back then, at least every once in a while he would come into the ring and, you know, stare down the NWO. It wasn't just cryptic messages that are the same week after week.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that about her being the anti-Howdy too. We could have another match like her versus Randy Orton.
Oh God.
Oh God. Don't no.
What did y'all think about
her? Get Orton's wife pissed off again.
What did y'all think about her with Bray Wyatt? Did you buy into it? Did you think it was good placement?
Yeah, I loved it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I loved it. That's it.
Her character, she was like the perfect, you know, person to play that, because she has that, you know, schoolgirl look, like she's like this cheerleader Barbie doll type person. But then when you get that twisted side of her, she played that perfectly. The laugh, the look, the way you, like, at times she would just stare off into space and be like, he's here. That was like, and then the playground on her on the swing was just played to a T perfect.
Yeah, that's why I think it would be interesting if they had her as like the anti-Howdy. I mean, I think that would be an interesting angle. You know, because Braun could come along, -1 could come along. I mean,
oh geez, -1.
Now that would be a crossover.
Yes. Well, Cody's still best friends with the family and takes them out to Disney World on his birthday every year or a couple times a year. So Cody could actually negotiate that, even though -1 does have a standing contract when he's 18 to wrestle at AEW.
Oh, you know it, yeah. For those who may not be familiar, that's Luke Harper's son, being a super, you know, popular guy with wrestling and on TV for a while. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting. But I mean, you saw the family during WrestleMania. I mean, they were all like, Amanda was tweeting out to like Cody and stuff like that. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of them are still tight. So having that anti would be good with Alexa Bliss, you know, bringing in Braun. They can, you know, have that, even if Rowan was on that side, you know, have that Brody Lee, Bray Wyatt tribute from that side and trying to take out Uncle Howdy. That would be interesting. Little Brody Lee could be like the kid from the Omen or something.
Yeah.
And it would play into the storyline too, because back in January or February of 2023, it was every time he would appear, it would flip a switch in her to go into a different mode. So she could just easily want to fight that mode and not bring it back, and something for her to overcome and conquer.
Yeah.
It sucks because, you know, if Brody was still alive, like, he would have been involved with this, like 100%. Like, would have tried to get out his contract and everything to do it. I bet for Bray's memory, like, you know, it would have happened.
If he would have still been alive, he debuted what, 4 years ago in AEW. So yeah, it was right after the pandemic started. So 2021. So just over 3 years ago.
No, it was literally right after the pandemic started. Because I remember I left my job March 13th. He debuted March 20th, 2020 in AEW.
So yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. I keep thinking 2021 was the pandemic shit that long ago. So his contract would just be ending. Yeah. Because I think they said he signed a 4 or 5 year contract right off the bat.
Yeah, so it would be ending right about now, and he passed December 26th of 2020. Yeah.
Yep.
Forget how soon that was after he debuted over there. That was crazy. Yeah. So much potential too. God. I liked him a lot when he was in WWE. Not just, you know, one of the gimmicks that I thought was really stupid was that whole Bludgeon Brothers thing.
I loved it. That was a great tag team to me.
Really?
Oh yeah.
The hammers and all.
It was stupid. Yeah, they kicked ass. I loved it.
Oh man.
Anything that came from Bray Wyatt, though, I'm a huge fan of. So I'm impartial to that.
Oh man. I'm curious to see what Rowan faction though. I mean, I you know, he's always seemed like he was kind of a minor player. So I'm curious how much of a part he's going to have with all this.
Seeing them all together when it does actually come to fruition and they flip the switch and start it's going to be emotional at first. I think
it will.
Yep.
They could put him in the tag division too, team him up with someone else in the faction.
Him and Braun.
Yeah. I wonder if
they're modified Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah. I wonder if they do a modified Bray entrance theme or if it'll be something new. Probably something new, I bet, because they don't want to hone in too much on that nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
I bet
they're going to have the Fireflies in every one of his entrances, so
he'll probably have the lantern. Like, I'm sure that'll be there.
Yep.
Maybe they could go with a torch instead of a lantern. Maybe.
Well, the torch. If you watch the Bray, if you saw in the Bray Wyatt documentary, the lantern that they created, the last lantern that he had like animatronic eyes and everything.
Yeah. God, that was so cool.
If Uncle Howdy had that as part of like the Bray Wyatt cult, the Wyatt Six, have that lantern as the, you know, the centerpiece of Bray Wyatt, because that is Bray.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
Or he could carry out something with the Fiend mask on it.
Mm.
Well,
A
now they're
modified
saying, let's see.
Because with that new one in the documentary, it has two faces on each side, so he could do a thing where he turned it around almost too.
Yeah.
So the last thing it was on WWE, and the URL for the website, I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but it said if you went to WWE.com, whenever they had the new one or whatever, if you read the URL backwards, it says June 17th. So they're saying that's potentially the debut date. June 17th is a Monday. It's a Raw. It will be at Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yeah, and they've put Ramius in the thing too, and that's like the day that Ramius feeds or something like that I read online. So it could add up. There's been some people pushing it for a while, but it's just weird to me to think that it would be on a Raw.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's just when they start it. Maybe they just have someone pop up in the crowd or something. Or I think the full-on debut, I mean, would be great. I mean, if you're going to do it at a big one, SummerSlam would probably be it. But
that's a long time to drag it out.
I know.
Yeah.
People will be tuned out by then. Like everyone will be over it. It'll be Vera's coming, and it won't go over.
Mm.
What is the number at the bottom of that message, though? 168 of -179 or /197?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Let's see.
I had no idea what it meant.
What's 168 divided by 197?
I'm sure somebody's already probably deciphered it. Let's see. 168. June 17th is the 168th day of the year, and 197 days remain until the end of the year.
Oh, okay. So yeah, June 17th, we'll see him.
Here's another one. The difference between 168 and 197 is 29. 29 days from the date that came out is June 30th. That's the date that the AEW pay-per-view Forbidden Door takes place.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I'm sorry. That is friggin' phenomenal.
Biggest team of all time. And that would blow the Forbidden Door like wide open. That's how they announced the WWE AEW Forbidden Door, is that Uncle Howdy shows up on Forbidden Door.
You could use the same black. You could use the same door that they used at Extreme Rules when Bray came out and call that the Forbidden Door.
Oh man. Because you know they have it. June 17th, 2019, there was a Firefly Funhouse. So yeah,
that was the first Firefly Funhouse, wasn't it?
I think so. That's what
I thought the first Firefly Funhouse was sometime in March. I thought didn't they do the 5-year anniversary of it when they did the /5555 thing?
This one says if you search 168197 into WWE using the letter link, it gives you an event venue for the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia, which is where Bray Wyatt returned.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, not March, April, I meant.
Let's see. First Firefly Funhouse.
It's like April 21st, right? Something like that.
April 22nd, 2019.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so that wouldn't be it. So maybe, yeah. So we'll be watching Forbidden Door to see the Uncle Howdy debut. Oh, man.
It's going to be a debut of a new QR code. Woohoo!
Yeah, watch WWE buy an ad on Forbidden Door and run a QR code on their ad.
Oh, yeah. Dude. Oh, we need to. I got to reach out to Paul. Like we're best friends.
Can you imagine? I'm surprised they haven't done. I mean, that's what I would be doing if I had that money.
Do something.
There's a pay-per-view. They don't have commercials.
I mean, you watch on Peacock, you got all kinds of that stuff.
If you could finagle DraftKings some way when they have DraftKings come up on it, it would be a breach of contract and you get sued out the ass. But if you were willing to cover it to reduce some warfare, yeah.
They got that hype that would get.
Oh
it
man,
would
that'd be
worth
nuts.
them paying the fines for that.
And
I'm tipping $20 to that fine.
this weekend is Battleground. So
Yep,
we
Sunday.
have the NXT pay-per-view Battleground at the UFC arena. So this week we have all of that. Wow, it's going to be a good week.
Yep.
See if there's anything else coming up this week. I don't think so.
Yeah, pay-per-view for TNA Impact's the following week.
Oh, we have the 20th anniversary of Impact this Thursday.
Yep.
Okay, I was trying to remember when that was coming up here pretty soon because I have membership there now, so I'm like, okay.
Against all odds, I think it is, right?
Yeah, June 14th is Against All Odds. Yep. Yeah, exclusive to TNA Plus. And as expected, I mean, there's rumored to be some WWE or NXT people showing up on Against All Odds, and that would fall right after Battleground. So, I mean, you could potentially have Roxanne lose her NXT title and then show up and win it back at Against All Odds, or go to Against All Odds and win the TNA title and take it back to NXT.
Yeah. I wish they were doing title for title at Battleground. Because then she could win the title. Roxanne could win the TNA title at Battleground. Less than a week later, lose it back to her at Against All Odds.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't see her beating Thick Mama Pump. Like, I don't know. I still think that match is going to have some kind of a screwy finish, just because pound for pound, I don't see it. They're going to have something screwy because they don't want to make her. They don't want either one to look weak. So something has to happen. I'm trying to think of who could interfere.
The system.
Yeah. I still want Tatum to get some play somewhere. They're not going to give her that mid-card title. Like, put her back into the main picture. I don't want WWE to drop the ball on her. I feel like she's one that she could get frustrated and go to AEW and get lost in the shuffle of the women's roster over there, and I don't want that to happen with her.
Yeah.
I could watch her matches all night. Speaking of, I forgot to touch on this. That match between her and Michin on Tuesday. Do y'all remember that bit in the ring where they had that weird like face-off thing?
Yeah.
It was like Bray Wyatt and the Boogeyman.
Yeah. It was just it was so awkward. I was like, what is this?
I like Michin though. I'm a fan.
I mean, might as well throw her something. And then
I just don't understand why they had her in the OC for like a minute.
Yeah.
And then the OC's like died out since then.
Well, I think they're going to use the OC and Michin upcoming with the AJ and Cody thing because we had the OC. They interviewed Michin on SmackDown saying what she thought about AJ possibly retiring. Then they had the OC guard AJ from the Bodyguard so we could hit the Styles Clash on Cody.
Mm-hmm. I know another highlight of the week that I've seen posted more than probably any other picture I've seen WWE related in a while. I'm not going to share it on here because I'm not thirsty like that. But Mia had a good little backstage moment.
Haven't seen that side of her.
No, I'm very interested to see where this goes now. Not just because of the picture-worthy moment, but the presence. I like the presence.
Yeah, it's like she's commanding attention when she was in that backstage spot. It was a different side of her, and I liked it.
Yep. So I'm excited to see where they go with this one. They're letting a lot more of these women shine more, so it's really exciting. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. So it is about dinner time. Let's go grab ourselves a bite and then go strap in for Raw here in about like 30 minutes.
Yep.
So next week when we step back in, we'll have our weekly stuff to cover and also a pay-per-view and hopefully more exciting events that popped up in the week. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Unless you fellas have anything else to add?
No. I'm good.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for being here. And as always, thanks for listening, watching, all that stuff. And to all our audio listeners, which is where a bulk of our audience is, come check us out over on YouTube. We do videos as well, and you can see our lovely faces and shining personalities. So we will see you Sunday or pay-per-view Sunday. So we'll probably see you next week on Monday.